There we go, and we're currently live with our Legends of the Force campaign, where we have been having more shenanigans behind the screen than we have on the screen. So, in case y'all haven't noticed, my mic is live this time. Yay! I figured out what was up and fixed it all. Technical issues have been abounding this week, so it's really fun. So if something goes out, let me know in the chat as soon as possible. Okay, that way I can fix it and get everything set up. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and turn this shindig on over to our lovely GM, Kyrath. Or, sorry, wrong one. Wrong Kai, brother. Kylar, it's your show. Sorry, man. Okay, fine.
Their fault for naming themselves like that.
Alright, in that case, I'll just go on with the ad.
No,
This vid is brought to you by Hasheen's Weapon Surplus. Swing by our shop anytime and see the great selection we have. The supplies offered by the shop are in compliance with Republic regulations and meet the minimum requirement weapon history checks required by Section 39C A.24 of the Weapon Resale Code. Thank you very much.
All right. Star Wars Legends of the Force, Episode 3, Chapter 29, Dark Depths. Kalani and Theodore scouted out the abandoned ruins. Lexa and Jaraht attempted to intercept communications from the Obsidian Tower. Lexa learned through malware that the computers in the tower are part of a closed network. Fearing that the Sith would track the intrusion, the party headed to the ruins of the temple of some sort, which seems safe enough. During the night, 3 monstrous beasts burst from the altar and attacked. And Theodore was nearly bitten in half before they were all slain. Lexa sent R1S to scout out where they had come from, as the rest of the party sleeps to recover from their injuries. So that is what happened last time. Who keeps changing the color of my frames? Stop changing the color of my frames, people. I will find you, and I will end you.
Who do you think it is? He's already confessed to it earlier.
I'm not paying attention to who's changing the frames on things. I'm just, I just want it to stop.
Too bad it leaves out how I single-handedly killed one of them.
Handedly murdered one with your fists.
I'll add that. He murdered her with his fist. Oh, obviously.
Well, I do have claws.
Doesn't have any.
Yeah, it's the combat chipmunk, so.
Alright. I'm just imagining it.
That build was not meant to be used by.
Yeah, well.
Now,
What have you done?
too late now.
What happened?
You changed maps.
I did indeed change maps. Alright, so we're back here. And all the monsters are dead, which is why they're in red, but they're large, so I kept their bodies there. Okay, so, Theodore passed out. Shiloh, we said that you healed him from his, so he's gonna wake up and he's gonna be miraculously healed, because he passed out before he got healed, so he's gonna wake up and he's gonna be miraculously healed, and he's gonna think it's a dream. That was also a thing that happened.
Who passed out?
Theodore, because he almost got bit in half.
He's gonna be like, wow, that was a bad dream, then he's gonna look at all the blood covering him, and he's gonna be like, oh.
Yeah, Kalani did a little bit of first aid, because you were still dealing with, the NPCs and everybody who got hit by rocks.
Including
he was already
yourself?
passed out by the time you got to him.
Yeah, you didn't have to move all the rocks off of everyone, so that's a good thing.
Right, so, night has fallen. Well, night was already fallen, so it's still nighttime. It's about 3 in the morning. So, Lexa, you don't need sleep because you're a robot, kind of, partially. So, you sent There's a large thunderstorm where I am. There's no rain on Korriban. That's not what's happening. It's not setting the moon. It's not thunder lightning on the desert planet.
On a desert. Oh well, you could say that there's a rolling dust storm outside. So.
So he restored all my health, right?
Yeah, you're good. I didn't make rolls, but yeah, you're good, because Shiloh's ridiculous at healing, and I figured he'd be able to do it.
His worst rolls would probably do it.
Yeah.
Oh, we're down
Anyway.
at roll 20, so I don't have my macro, so I have no idea how much I can heal people for.
Exactly. I wasn't gonna go and look through the rulebook to figure that out. It's your character. I'm not doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, I went.
Oh, he only healed
I
you for
went through
20
the trouble
health,
of
guys.
making notes and stuff. Everyone else apparently not.
Yeah. Did Shiloh go through and heal everyone up, or just Theodore?
Everybody?
Yeah, I'd imagine he would have healed everybody before going to sleep. But I was going to sleep, and Lex is standing over the altar, looking through R1S's eyes. So it's dark down there.
Also, I definitely would go into a force trance
always-
and not go to sleep.
Okay, we're in force trance. Noted.
Just in
Alright,
case.
so-
we get attacked
Just trying to
again,
get to
I want
things,
know
man.
that.
So, yeah, so you guys are going... So R1S is walking down this thing. Are you just going to send him, like, all the way to the end? Like, what's your game plan for scouting this?
Trying to pull up his character sheet so I can think about what it is. I mean, how far away are we from the temple? Like, on foot, traveling, how far would it take us to get there?
Temple or tower?
The tower, where we're going, the thing. Tower of Death.
I think I said a distance at one point, but it's like a couple miles away. It's like 10 miles away, actually.
Oh, 10 miles? I mean,
Ish. Well, it's near-ish, but it's not like, oh, we can just over the ridge and it's right there. It's
Yeah,
roughly
it'd take like a
up
day.
the hill.
there.
Take a good part of a day to get there.
I mean, if he could fly, that would make things faster. Well, I just...
Could steal a vehicle.
Yeah,
No,
it's not. I think it's more like 5. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, so it's. I mean, you do
I
have like
just
all
wanna-
night. And kind
how
of
big
robots.
is
You
the
can kind of-
tunnel?
you can scare them pretty fast.
He said it was big enough for two
for
people to
you
walk
to talk with it
comfortably next to each other.
through comfortably.
Not for
Very
It's big
Comfortable.
enough for the
It's also pretty
Jaraht to
big.
come through, so...
Right. I just,
Yes.
well,
Is
But
it
that's
big enough
about
for any of our speed?
I think no, it's not us that I'm worried about. What I would hate for us is like I get halfway down the tunnel with R1S and I'm like, this looks good. We get all the way down the tunnel together and we're like, oh shoot, it's not an entrance to the tower. Whoopsie. So I'm trying to find a way to we for sure know where this is going before we go down and explore. But I don't think R1S can fly and he can't pilot a speeder.
You've got quite a few hours, but you've got like 4 or 5 hours before people
Yeah.
start waking up. And
So that's what I was
that
thinking is I would
even
just have
saying,
him
even
walk the
saying
length.
he can only like go like 2 miles an hour, you can just go the length, and then by the time everybody's
Right.
awake, he'll be at the if it is at the tower, then he'll
That's what I'm-
reach that.
Because I can just leave him there. If it's the tower, I can just keep an eye on things. Because he's a stealthy droid.
Make sure they don't try to ambush us with any more torrent.
Yeah, I just want to know what we're walking into. So I'm gonna have him keep going down the tunnel, but he's gonna be stealthing and careful.
So
I
how
haven't-
exactly
remember,
did
I
this
haven't
rock
walking-
slide start?
They just
Sure.
busted through the altar.
And then
There's
rocks fell from the ceiling and landed on me?
No,
or what
the
exactly?
rubble from the altar landed on you.
Oh, okay. Okay, so there was actually
Yes.
no like a rock slide or anything. It was just they
No, it was the
threw
altar
the
pieces
altar
flying.
on top of us basically.
Pretty much.
You
Yes,
didn't
that
do
is
so
what
hot.
happened.
You didn't do so hot on your
Did we get a roll to see if we notice in time to protect ourselves?
I was more worried about everybody else. If you want,
Retroactive.
It's too late. You were asleep. You didn't
It's not
know.
important.
and-
Wondering.
it's not important. Anyway, so you're just gonna send it
Okay.
walking down. Okay.
I
So
just need to know
it is
how
now-
I'm supposed to talk about this incident.
Oh, he has a holographic image disguiser.
yeah, that's kind of like
Yeah.
his main
Oh,
function,
okay.
infiltration.
Yeah. So as he's walking down,
So he can look like a different object.
Yeah, have him look like
A
Have
rock?
him look like no, because he's gonna be crawling. Have him. I've seen. Been
No,
on
the,
Corvette,
the,
right?
the
I've
image
seen-
disguiser is for stationary objects. So like.
Is it only
computer
for
terminal
stationary?
or, like,
So it looks like a rock.
I'm pretty sure that's how that thing works.
Ching, ching, ching,
I'm
ching.
pretty sure.
Sure.
It's not a...
Are you sure?
For that droid, yes. That is how that works. I have
Fine.
read the description of that droid. That is how that droid works.
Okay, well then I'll just have him look like a rock that's apparently moving, but at least if he looks like a rock, then he can stop moving, and maybe that'll fool someone. So, as he's walking down, have a holographic image disguiser that he is a rock, something that looks plausible hanging from the ceiling.
So he's a stalactite.
Yeah, He has a silence bubble generator. I don't see how that's going to be useful right now. Oh, he does have an improved sensor package, which means he has dark vision, so he has the same vision I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he's
So he can
How
see
much water is there on Korriban?
How much water is there
Okay.
on Korriban? Not much.
I'm going to do, so that's what I'm going to do with R1S.
If we stick with the
And
single
then-
biome world planet, we can assume that much.
Who besides me in the group is tech savvy? I'm trying to remember. Because I think it was just Ayland and Bakaz, and they're gone.
Yeah, I think so. Theodore might have some, but I don't know.
Lexa
Jaraht
doesn't
is
trust
definitely-
Theodore.
What?
That's a no-go.
Some things what?
Text
I see the Whisperer standing right next to me.
and then there is.
Also,
her,
don't trust the Whisperer.
Yeah. I
Also,
kinda
the
figured
Whisperer's not actually that good at computery stuff, so...
Oh, she's not.
You at least trust
I'm
Theodore
sorry.
more than the Whisperer.
Well, obviously.
Ajax, there's Ajax.
There is Ajax. The best
So yeah,
Jaraht can
go.
do.
I guess I could just go talk to the GM again.
Yeah. The best. Yeah, the best Jaraht could do is a Serenity use computer, but that's it. And the max that would be a 30.
But it counts as not 20.
Okay, so I was maybe reminded of something by a little birdie, and I just want to see like if this will be useful in communications of things. And I totally forgot we had this, which I kind of wished I hadn't, because it might have been useful earlier.
What do we have?
What did you what did we have?
Trying to find the date. I remember what the data pad was. It was something that Lasaya gave me. No, I can just wait. Lasaya's here. I could just go talk to her. Duh. All right, and I go find Lasaya.
Oh, yeah,
Everybody
she's
is
also
sleeping, so yeah, so she is sleeping.
I was like, what? Oh, but yeah, the person who set the transmission is here, so that works. Okay.
Okay, so you're waking Messiah up.
Wake up, Jedi. Wake up.
Yeah, I guess I am. I figure she's not all the way asleep yet.
Lightsabers to the face.
What time of day is this right now?
Like 4 a.m.
When did we go to sleep?
Go to sleep. You want to sleep like at nightfall? Like, well, it was about 10:30 or so when you went to sleep.
Oh, okay. So with Force Trance, I'm rested. Since I'm sitting right next to this, I'll just wake up too, so I can listen to what's going on.
That's nice.
Okay.
So I come up to Lasaya, and as I do, I see Shiloh is awake, doing things. So I wave at him and sit next to the two of them.
Kind of blinks, like, yeah, I got hit in the head by a rock, and also, why are we getting up this early? It's stupid. But she's fairly used to it, so it takes her a couple seconds, and then she's just like, yeah, what's up?
Did R1S find anything in the tunnel?
Not yet. It's still a straight tunnel with nothing in it, which is probably a good thing. At least it means we won't be attacked again in the night. I'm gonna have him go to the end of it and see if it leads to the tower. That would be an easier way to get through. But as I was as I sent him, I was thinking about the earlier progress I made on the communications network, and I remembered you said something about you gave us once encryption cipher methods from Darth Krakus in order to get into communications, and I trying to remember exactly what that did and if it would be useful in this circumstance.
Well, since you already captured because and I already knew that you already had that one, so you haven't been getting new messages, have you, from anything?
No, that's a good point. Haven't.
So it's yeah, I think they're not using that channel anymore. Is it?
Was it a
And
channel or
so,
encryption
well,
codes that we could...
Well, it was encryption codes plus location at the same time. So they rotate those, and if any unit is compromised, they stop using that as well. So I doubt even one that we found on the datapad back on Nar Shaddaa would even be helpful at this point, because 2 of those agents reported back.
You don't think there's any way we
The
could...
thing about the one on Coruscant was it was my communications with him, and he believed that everybody was dead, but nobody knew that, and so it was sort of a... And I'd kind of stolen a couple other ones on the way. But that intelligence is over a month old now.
That is unfortunate. You don't think that... How did you get it the first time?
I was here talking with other teams, and I managed to get the communication specs for a couple of them. But really just mostly my team and other teams that were associated with trying to capture Picasso. And all the other teams that Karakas had out there. But as far as I know, the tower doesn't have an underground component. But it seemed weird to me. It is a fairly old-looking structure. It would be surprising if it didn't.
Well, we'll see where this tunnel leads. I mean, it seems to be going in the direction of the tower, so at least it seems to be worth looking at to see for ourselves. I don't know, Shiloh, if you had any ideas or thoughts on this?
Was there anything else that you can tell us about the tower, Lethian? The weak point that they might have, or how does the guard structure inside it work? Are we going to be able to infiltrate it?
Okay, everyone should be awake for this. So,
well,
just,
then
so I don't have
let's...
to repeat myself.
Okay, then let's just wait till everyone's gotten good enough rest.
Infiltrating will be tricky. We have to figure out I don't know if the shipment schedules are the same. If this basement thing turns out, I don't remember ever seeing a staircase that led down from the main floor, so it might not have an entrance. We might have to make our own entrance, but they wouldn't be expecting it, although we don't know what's down there based on the transect that's just attacked us. I'm not sure we want to, but if your droid can find it and figure out there's nothing there, there's nothing there.
No, I'm not too concerned. My droid is built for infiltration, so if anyone can get through a tunnel and not be killed, it would be him. At the very least, we'll know we'll know whether it's an entry point or not. If it worked out, it would be ideal because then we could escape through it too and be miles away before anyone knew where to find us.
That's assuming none of them know that it's there, and they wouldn't just be waiting for us on this side.
True, but again,
we could
we'll
make
know
an
that
exit.
if it's sealed, if it's a sealed entrance, then we know nobody knows that it's down there.
Alright, so we sit around.
What do they eat? If it's not sealed out, if the tunnel is sealed up on both sides.
That's a good point. I guess we'll find
The
out.
Sith keep them as pets.
But also, Tech have a habit of living in Sith tombs, and they don't really venture out that much, so they're able to survive on not really much sustenance for a long
The
time.
power of chaos.
Alrighty, so you guys are waiting for everyone else to wake up. And now everybody else is awake. Alrighty.
I just how that worked.
Power of awesome. GM time jump. Everyone is now awake. The sun is rising. the tank is clean, and we are getting out of here.
The tank is clean.
I have to put down entry.
Alright, so everyone is now awake for the briefing. And you know what the briefing means? The briefing means it's everybody's favorite drawings coming back.
It's one of my favorites.
The greatest drawing of all time. So she pulls this back out on her data pad because it's the greatest map that's ever been drawn by a human hand. Boom! Obsidian Tower.
She's not a human.
Messiah's human?
What? No, she's not.
Pretty sure she is.
Messiah is definitely a human.
Do we need to just ask her?
You-
Messiah, pause. Shailu's not sure you're
Doesn't she
human.
have-
Could you
If
clarify?
we take a look at her
Tattoo.
character sheet,
She was human when I invented her.
she is a human
Oh.
with a great.
I always
lightsaber.
thought she was a Mirrorlin, because she has Mirrorlin tattoos, and I was never actually
She
met her
just
because
well,
I was
that's just
also
a pic
gone.
where I
as
found
a
her. It's hard to edit the face tattoo off. Okay, but I changed everything else, and it's great. Anyway, moving on. So everybody sits around for the briefing, and the greatest drawing ever. Actually, instead of that drawing, she starts drawing in the dirt. She had sketched, and while she was waiting for everybody, she drew out an outline in the dirt. All right.
So as
once again-
Theodore approaches, he's like patting himself down.
You're superhuman. He heals magically. All right. So here is the Obsidian Tower. Now this drawing doesn't show. It's a hexagon in shape. Every floor successively gets slightly smaller. So the operations level is the smallest level. Base level is the biggest level. That's how towers work generally, unless they're weird towers. So this one's made out of stone, so it has to be a regular tower. Oh my goodness. Alright. Anyway. So, we have the main level. It's kind of an atrium. It's a little bit taller ceiling. They have large blast doors that allow shipments in. So they have a shipment once per day that brings in supplies, takes out things that need to be taken out. That is screened first. Very, in a distance away from the tower. By guards that are armed with turrets, anti-personnel turrets. So that's screened before it goes in. The most security is on that main atrium level, because those are the only doors into the place, and then on the detention level. And so there's a little bit. So there's guards by all the staircases, obviously, but there's usually 2 guards at each door, stairs, and then there's usually a roaming pair on each level. And then there's about 15 or so guards on the first floor. Detentions level, if they have prisoners in a cell, there will be 2 guards stationed at that cell, and there will be a couple of patrols going and people posted at the doors. All the security is run, so all the cameras, everything is run from the operations level. It's the only thing that can initiate door lockdowns. And the only way to the data storage room, which is where we're going to need to go, you actually have to go up into the operations level and then back down into data storage. There's no stairs that actually lead from below it up into it. It's a little bit of a weird architectural thing. So the staircases are built in stages. You can only go up a couple of levels at a time, and you have to switch staircases to make it up levels. I'm not sure if that was an original design feature or a feature that they put in later to make it more difficult to get around the building. So we have 6 quarters and dining floors. So the vast majority of the staff and personnel is not guards. It's data analysts and operations people. And so they work on communications and analysis floor. So they're doing special projects. They're communicating with all of Crax's off-world teams. They're communicating with the rest of the Sith fleet. And also with their informants everywhere. So they're getting things in. There is a conference level where Caracas does mission briefings, and if any Sith from the fleet come to visit, he'll have them there. But Caracas usually doesn't leave operations, and unless he's in the conference level. And yeah, so the data storage is really only accessible through the top, so you have to get all the way up there. The detentions level is in the middle. So there's 3 shifts. So there's. Sorry. Yes, you were saying?
There's no elevator to any of these stairs? There's no way to cut past this?
No, there's only stairs.
If it looks like from your drawing, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 levels. Then you have to go across the next stair. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you gotta go to the next stair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where are we trying to get to?
The information we're looking for should be in the data storage level. So the way the data storage works, as far as I remember, is there's a couple different server systems on that level. There's the system that the analysts can all access, and then there's a black box sort of server that Practice hard transfers data onto. That's kind of his personal data storage. So you might be able to hack into the network server from the analysis levels, but if it's not on there, then we need to get into Practice's own storage system that's not connected to anything else. So we'd have to be on that level in order to get it.
Are we going to have to capture Caracas in order to get his pass code and entry into his files?
That depends on. I believe the eraser gave our fuzzy friend over there, some things to hack into things, and that might be good enough to get in.
So when we say hacking, are we talking basically we just got to get up to the operation, to the data storage area, plug and play, then get out? Or were there other goals we needed to do to accomplish?
Well, there's also Pakaz, who's probably being held on the detention level.
How are we going to get all the way up to the operations level where the cameras are controlled without being spotted as any cameras?
Maybe we're not. If we need to get in to find Pakaz, then we can use that as the distraction. If we send some of us to go and find Pakaz at the detention level, a smaller, stealthier team could get up and get the information we need. Making it look like the invasion or the infiltration is to rescue a prisoner, hiding the information grab.
And when the entire building security forces attack the people who are going to the detention level, how are they going to escape?
Well, see, that would be the tricky part. We'd have to build in an escape route. Now, we have Jaraht with us, which I understand is very gifted in the telekinesis aspect of that. There are no windows to the tower, correct? But, I mean, could make our own entrance. Could make our own hole in a wall. We have lightsabers and the Force. Could just bust out of the detention level.
Ajax chimes in. I could also, if we get up there, could rig the doors to the other levels with explosives.
That is also an option.
So how are we going to get up however many floors that is, like 10 floors, before they see us? And just seal off entryway before we can get there.
How many stealth belts do we have?
Well, that is a good question. I believe all the main characters have stealth field generators.
Jaraht does not. He's one of the few who does not. Mostly because he's more of a hammer, not necessarily a stealthy character. And Bazak, you barely coming in. Chipmunk sounds like he's far away.
Yes, he sounds very far away. I can't understand anything he's saying in Chipmunk voice.
He's saying something? What?
He was trying to.
He was saying chipmunky things.
I have one.
Alright, yeah, so who in the party has a stealth field generator?
I
I have one.
Lexa, Shilu, Kalani. Maybe Chipmunk. Or,
I believe I have one.
When was the last time stealth people attacked us? In the hangar where we used all the emergency phone? Did we grab those ones? I'm sure
Yes.
we probably did.
Did we? Oh, we did grab those ones?
I could say that you grabbed those ones because
I mean, we grab them all the time. Why would we not grab?
I think
Did we also grab their
it'd be helpful
uniforms?
if you all turn.
Well, we were planning on impersonating them.
I can't seem to find the link.
Ah, that's true. So, but we don't need to impersonate them that much.
Yeah.
All we have to do is fool cameras. So if some of us have stealth field generators, and some of us have those cloaks, those robes and stuff. We just have to be able to get up the stairs and fool the cameras and hopefully avoid enough people before we get up there. I think the go-to plan should be never to be seen. But if something goes wrong, whoever's going for the detention level should primarily be the distraction. They should be the ones to start, making a ruckus if something is going wrong, and even team.
That sounds like a good idea. Besides, I also see on here that it's possible to make all of our stairway changes on quarters and dining levels. Or we could make them on other levels. Is there a lot of people moving around the quarters and dining levels? Would it be better to avoid them? Or is there lower security on those levels because it's just personnel? So should we try to go through those instead of the conference level or something?
I would say the conference level is less guarded. And if there's nobody there, there might not be really anybody other than a couple of guards on that level. Maybe
Okay, hold on. Let me make a
patrol
list.
unit and people guarding the
Let's
stairs.
see if we can make a list of when to change. So the first change of staircase should be at the conference level, right?
That would be my suggestion.
Okay. Then what would the next change be? Where would that be ideal?
Well, the next level, you would be at the detention level.
Okay, so maybe team detention level gets there, continues on, but team 2, in order to avoid again less people, maybe they could make their change one level below that.
Does this sound any better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just too far away from my face, I think.
That is sad.
Test.
Unfortunate problem.
C minus.
So, does that sound like a good idea, or?
Yes, the problem is just going to be getting into the building itself then.
Well, that's where we're gonna have to see where this tunnel leads. If this tunnel leads in under, then it should be fairly easy to get in. If that's not if we can't get in that way, anyone have any ideas? My go-to move is usually deception, but there's a lot of us.
We should scout and observe their perimeter around the tower, see what security looks like, just in case that we can't get in through that tunnel. This was the original thought that I had.
That sounds like a good idea.
Also, GM, as we're having this conversation, I'm keeping tabs on R1S and what he sees.
Yeah, right, okay, so he has now gotten to an opening. It is still pretty dark, but it's semi-lit. And it's this really big open space. There's kind of some rubbled, broken over columns. There's some functional columns. There's sort of a thing in the center. It's a pretty big room. And it's about the right distance away from you to be the bottom of the tower. And Arwen is walking around. And give me a perception check.
Oh wait, RONS is really good at those. I forgot. I was like, no! I was like, oh yeah, RONS is really good at it.
He might be really
figured
good,
it
but it's
and
still
make
your
it.
dice.
Wait, did he get the... Okay, 6. That's not a great roll. Hold on!
What's his bonus?
I'm making sure he got the bonus. Okay, he did. So that's a 26.
26? Yeah, so as far as you can tell, it looks empty. It's very empty.
Okay. Can I have him just sit on the ceiling like a rock and just observe the room for a little while?
Yeah. You
Okay,
can definitely do that.
We can resume conversation. That's what he's going to do until something interesting happens. Oh.
Alright, so...
Oh wait, and maybe also I'm going to have him activate his silence bubble around himself so that people can't hear him. And I assume in a very quiet, empty tomb, whirring and buzzing will be heard. So in order to make him super stealthy, his cone of silence goes up too.
Yep. Okay, so if we scout out we do need to figure out. I think it was about 8 a.m. was when the shipments came in to the to the lower level. If we go to scout that out, you can check for sure. You have quite a few guards surrounding the perimeter, but it's possible to observe it from a distance. So, shall we want to go over there, or
Did Lexa tell everybody that RONS found a secret base under the tunnel, under the tower?
No, I've been waiting. Everyone's still talking. She sees this in her head. Everyone's still talking.
Well, I guess we should probably send someone to go scout out the tower then.
The team that we sent to scout should probably be small. Did you
who
hear
do you guys
that?
want to send?
I will volunteer.
Lexa's not a good scout.
Alright, we're just sending Theodore. Alright, anybody else want to go with? Kalani has good dark side presence sensing.
And perception,
Yeah.
period.
Although, will I be able to hide myself in the forest is the question.
Stealth field generator. We have stealth field
No,
generators,
that's
people.
not what I'm talking about. Not what I'm talking about.
She wants
Do you
to
have
get
Serenity?
Force
Like
present.
it sense.
Yeah, do you have Serenity?
Light side Kalani going right under the tower.
Yeah, but if you have Serenity, you could just make
potentially
it
a problem
like that.
now, but okay. So
Yes,
how
Serenity.
would
Well, those
that
rules that allow you to detect people in the forest work for like entire planets of distance. So like,
Well, yeah.
they don't
But
like going
the
any
main
little
question
bit
is,
closer
are they
the
going to
map.
look? Yeah, are they going to be looking for you or not? That's the question.
Yes, and then you can also use Serenity, and then before you do any sort of force sensingness, and then you're good. Alright, so Theodore and Kalani are the scout party again? Alrighty.
apparently
Are you going to
Okay,
do it?
so you
I
guys...
think Ajax
you
should
got-
go.
You think
Ajax has terrible stealth.
Ajax blinks. Well, you can't see him blinking, but he's blinking under his helmet, and he's like, this is not
Blink, blink, blink.
exactly stealthy.
No.
That's what
A
stealth is
Mandalorian in
for.
full Mandalorian gear? No.
Yeah, stealth field generators.
It won't hide.
No, let's
it
keep
won't
those
harm the
better.
sound.
I'm assuming they're taking a speeder to
Sadly,
get
they
there.
will
Is a
probably be
speeder
much
going to
higher
be less
security.
noticeable than a person hiding on the ground?
Yeah, you guys
in
gonna
the
walk
stealth
or you guys
field
gonna use a
generator?
speeder?
Speeder up until like a mile beforehand, and then walk the rest of the way.
Alrighty, okay, so we're doing this.
You could send
Anybody have any
Ajax.
protests?
We could send Ajax just to guard the speeder.
That sounds like a good
Yeah,
idea.
I can do that. Alright. Climb on board, everybody. Alright, so
Everybody.
you guys zoom out, and the sun is rising over the desert landscape, casting some really long shadows. And the coldness of the night is starting to heat up a little bit. You can feel the heat from the sun. You can't really feel that there's no heat there's coldness from the ground, because it hasn't heated up yet. You go out, you zoom out there, and as you go, this looming tower, which is totally black on the outside, starts coming into focus. It's sort of not a caldera of a volcano, but there's a rim of like high ridges, and then there's about a mile. So you leave Ajax, and then you walk up. So there's this ridge, and then there's about a mile of distance to the tower, and it's sort of in the center of this rim of cliffs that's about 50 feet high. And
I'm definitely
It's
doing the
pure
serenity thing to hide my force presence.
alrighty, we're hiding your force presence. Alright, so as you come up, so if you guys are going to stay, are you guys going to stay up on the ridge? Are you guys going to go down?
I don't know. Are we? Or is this just a scouting party?
Bueller,
Bueller?
Theodore, or Kalani? Are you guys going closer, or are you staying on the ridge?
Like, what can we see from here?
Yeah, what?
Well, it's pretty open, so you can see. You can make out like it's very visible. It's just people are tiny. So you have the tower, and then you can see clearly on the bottom level. There's these steel there's some very solid blast doors that are big enough to fit some decent sized transport vehicles through. So they're about 20 feet tall, about 50 feet wide.
What about the defenses around the tower?
Right, so around the tower, you see. Let me see so I don't get this wrong. I wrote it down. Where is it? Somewhere. Right, so about 300 feet or so from the base of the tower, there's kind of a ring of guards. So there's really clusters of guards at each of the four sides. So there's one that's directly in front of the door, and there's one stationed around. So there's 40 guards basically outside the building. They have turrets that you can't. If anybody wants to make a check to see what kind of turrets they are, you can.
What sort of check would I have to make?
That'd be probably a knowledge technology check.
Well, I don't have that trained, so
All right, so no. All right, so there are turrets that are being manned by these guys. They're not tiny turrets. They're not like those little E-web measly turrets, but they're not giant turrets. They're not like turbo laser turrets, but they're like an intermediate. Like they kind of, for people wondering, they kind of are like the Hoth radio dish turrets, but they don't look exactly like that. Whatever about that side there. So as you're sitting there looking at that, two transport vehicles, a hovercraft, kind of zoom into view through an entrance in the rock, so they kind of come past you from not super far away from you, but there's a path under, like through the rim, sort of, and it comes out, and they pull up to the guards that are in front of the main entrance, and you see the guards slow the vehicles down, and then they take out sweeping equipment. The back doors get opened, guards go in there with some sensing equipment. Takes about 10 minutes, and then the two trucks go in, actually pull all the way into into the facility. And then if you stay there for a long time, how long do you guys want to stay there?
Probably a few hours. Let's say 2.
2 hours, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're sitting there. After about a half hour, the transports leave. Again, they're checked by the guards before they exit completely, and then drives off. Kalani, you kind of get this little prick in the back of your head, so you're kind of like feeling out with the Force, looking for danger, and you can feel evil, but there's this other presence you weren't really expecting. It seems a little bit familiar to you, kind of just at the corners of your perception in the Force.
Okay. What?
If you would like to know more, you must make rolls.
What sort of roll?
What sort of what?
What sort of roles do you...
Yeah, it would have to be like a use the Force check. That's what I'm looking for.
Serenity boom it. Aw.
How come Eagle always rolls really well? I never get to roll that well.
Yeah. All right. So you feel this this kind of light, like you were looking for, like you're expecting like all evil, and then a cause which really doesn't feel that much different from evil, to be honest. So you weren't expecting really any sort of feeling of not evil coming from this place, even if Picaz was here. So you reach out to this thing that feels a little bit familiar to you, and as you're kind of sensing out it is you recognize it as the Force presence of Iten Mesov, the Zabrak Jedi Master that you were working with on Coruscant.
How did you end up here?
You said that to him mentally. How are you here? He's like, I was sleeping, but I guess I'm awake now.
She can do that. She can do that if she wants to.
Serenity, so you can.
Let's say yes. Her confusion just manifests as.
Huh?
Eden's like, I was
Alright, so
meditating.
Iten,
Now my eagle's in
you are where you are, and you hear a semi-familiar voice in your head being like, how are you here? And this really surprised, sort of dumbfounded, just Flummox voice in your head.
Why are you here?
Can I answer, or how's that work?
You know what? You guys are both like Jedi Master level. Just don't say like paragraphs. You can say like short phrases, and I'm cool with that. If you're both Jedi Masters, you should be able to do that.
This
is
is
yeah.
my
This is my
third.
third. I was captured on a secret mission.
Eagle, did you catch that?
Yep. Obsidian.
What's happening?
Did John?
Eagle,
Did
did
you
you
catch
say
what she
something?
said? Yeah, she said
What?
Obsidian Tower. Question mark.
Oh, yeah. I didn't hear that.
I heard
Technical
Obsidian that
difficulty,
cut
what?
out for me, so. So yes, he has said yes.
Well, do I know the name of this building? I know I'm in a building.
Yeah, you would know. You've heard of this place before. You kind of know where you are.
Then yes.
How to respond to this?
All right, I'm gonna go take a 10-minute. I'm gonna go get some snacks while Eagle thinks.
Yeah, this is a good point to take a break. I think.
It's only 9:17. We're not taking a break yet.
Eagle's brain has to reboot though before she can answer.
Do we want to take the break now? No. Okay.
I'm gonna ask her. I'm gonna ask her. I'm gonna say, "Are you here for Picaz?"
Yes, among other things, information.
You keep cutting out before you finish.
She said yes, among other things, information. She doesn't cut out for me, so I am able to hear both of you.
What is going on with this? Why?
Yeah, I can hear 90% of what she says too.
Okay, Kyler, is there any way I can help them get inside of here?
You could probably give the. You could tell them information about the floor that you're on a little bit, and when the guard changes happen.
Can I escape from my cell, or do I need to be released?
You would need to be released. So you're kind of stuck in where you are, unless you can somehow get the guards to let you out and then start fighting.
I can get the guards to let me out. That's nothing. This has been my headcanon. This is what I wrote for my character. I could have escaped here anytime I wanted to, but during meditating with the Force, it guided me to just wait and not do anything.
Yeah. It'll work. So
That's also the reason I allowed myself to be captured.
Yeah. So you can if you get out, then then you can be helpful. But the only way to really control the security systems is up from the operations level. You wouldn't really know that though. The rest of the people know that. So you'd have to get all the way up there in order to let them in.
So,
I can help you guys from in here, but our plans will have to be carefully coordinated and timed.
understood. This changes.
Actually, this makes
Tell
sense.
any of this to
Yeah, maybe tell the rest of the party.
Yeah, I'll do that now. Yeah, Kalani's gonna relay this new development.
Are you using your communicator to tell all of us, or are you just gonna telepathically tell Shialu?
Is it safe to use the communicators? That's
Well,
use
we don't
no
know
radio transmissions
We don't
near
know
the
for
top.
sure, so probably just tell Shialu. Shadow's not doing anything anyway. He's just staring at me. So
Okay, I guess I'll tell Chailu and the people that are here with me. So.
Alright, what exactly do you tell them? So that Shiloh can respond appropriately. With the fourth radio.
We have to figure out what I say, huh?
Eton is here. I found Eton. Eton is in prison.
All good choices.
I am confused.
Yeah, that.
Eton is in the tower.
Yeah. That's not. I don't know. Stuff like that.
that's just for Eagle's own sanity. We'll just say she said everything that was communicated between her and Ethan, and now Shiloh knows.
Okay, Shelly, you are now informed that Ethan Drelsa is inside and has been captured, but says he can help everybody. So you're like, this seems a little bit strange, but okay. Or maybe you don't think that.
I assume the same is said to the people who are standing next to her.
Yes, Theodore knows. So Ajax is the only one who doesn't know because he's sitting back by the speeder, and has no knowledge of this.
Oh boy. Jedi Master we were working with back on Coruscant for a bit.
That is such
I couldn't hear what you said.
communicate with
Squeaky.
him still.
What?
I said that is sufficient. If you can communicate with him still.
Are you able to communicate with him still?
Kyler? I assume I should be able to, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you're both Jedi Masters and like can do Serenity nonsense. And so yes, the answer is yes because you're level 19.
Yes, we should be able to coordinate.
Yes, then he should not attempt to escape until we begin our infiltration. We do not want alarms set off.
Squeaky. What?
I'm sorry. Did you just make me Cajun?
What?
Very misspelled the name.
FTMA.
Etienne, that would
The
be
Cajun
more of a
Zabrak.
Latin spelling.
Is his name Yo Tango?
Yo tengo
Holy.
ETNA.
What?
Okay, I know of them. Okay. Nothing.
I am. What?
Don't worry about it.
Continue, Eagle. Please try not to get your brain distracted. You've got to focus here.
You were the one.
What was just said. So,
you guys keep distracting me.
So what just happened was Theodore was like, if you can still communicate with them, then he should wait to do the stuff until we can make our plans and do the things together. Was the gist of what
Yeah.
Theodore just said.
Yeah. That.
Or literally until we are inside the tower, idea.
Okay, wait.
Okay.
Has Shialu communicated what he said? What to me?
Yes, so we're jumping now because there's 3 stages of this conversation and there's a bunch of middlemen. So we are now jumping from the Kalani.
Before we
Theodore
start jumping
part of
all
the
around
conversation.
and stuff,
Okay.
before we start overcomplicating stuff, I have one thing to say. So, this is towards the end of the 2 hours, right? Or we could say it's at the end, and we could just go back and have this conversation in person.
Yeah, but then you have to go back if you wanted to tell. Well, I guess yeah, because you could communicate with. Yeah, you could go back. That is possible. Like they can start talking, guys can go back, and then you guys can meet up with them and then finish the conversation.
Sure, but I just wanted to use Kalani and Eagle as or Shiloh and Eagle as radios to get to Eaton because I have something I need to ask.
Yeah, but there's not that much difference.
Can
The
do that.
Force doesn't really know distance, so
Don't-
Kalani doesn't have to be near him.
Yeah.
She just needed to, she was near
Yeah,
to
I
him,
don't-
so her
I-
perception kind of caught the glimpse of him. But now that she knows he's there, she can pretty much talk to him from wherever on planet.
That's what I was thinking.
But what I'm saying is, it's also really not necessary for us to move because we can basically all have this conversation in person using Shiloh.
But then Shiloh has to relay everything. No, I agree. I agree with Bazak.
And I
You're
have to
headed
talk-
back. All right.
It overcomplicates.
Yes. All right.
On the way
You guys
back,
head
you
back.
gotta look for ambush
Before
points
we
for those
go out of
trucks.
that, trying to talk to Theodore and force talk to Shiloh at the same time. Nope.
I just
Yeah,
have
no,
a
alright, so
feeling
you guys are
that
headed
just
back.
puzzles out.
Eagle, that
So
is-
Theodore, you said you wanted to check out the entrance that the vehicles came in on the way back.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of like a ramped, it's like a sloped area that kind of, so the rocks kind of build up and it's kind of just like a cut through. It looks natural, mostly. It looks like it's kind of maybe been widened a little bit. There's some rocky
I
spots.
just want to see if
so-
there's any good places to ambush them on their
Oh, yes,
way through.
because it's a gauntlet basically, so it has to cut through this ridge that you guys climbed up. So it cuts through that.
Okay.
And yeah, so
I
there's
just
rocky
take note
outcroppings
of
and-
the terrain.
But yes, if you want to know if it would be possible to be hidden and set up an ambush, the answer is yes. Okay, so now as you guys are traveling back, Shiloh and everybody else who is there, what do you do? Or we're just going to have everybody get back and then you're going to talk about it.
Okay, so he's communicated this to me. 2 hours gone by. Did R1S before I talked to Shiloh? And after 2 hours, has R1S seen anything?
He has seen nothing yet.
Okay. So then Shiloh tells me things, and then Lexa she thinks about this and she looks at Barty and she says, that actually makes our first plan work better. If we could have him be the start of something on the detention level, then the rest of you would have to do is meet him and then escape. But then they would be focused on a prisoner escaping and not us infiltrating.
And they might not engage as many resources if they think it's just a prisoner breakout. If they thought it was an intrusion, they would wake up the other 2 shifts of guards. If they think it's just a prisoner breakout, they may wait on that until it becomes clear that they're almost about to escape.
Exactly. So if team,
But there's still
we'll
gonna
call
be
it.
heightened security. Whereas if we snuck in with stealth field generators, they wouldn't tighten any security.
There's no way. I don't think there's any way we're going to get out of this without security being tightened. What we need to do is we would have to time it precisely. The moment we think something is going to go wrong or we need a distraction, that's when we have Eaton break out. We have detention level team come in, help him escape, and then data hacking team has the distraction they need to get up to the top levels. But no, go-to plan should be
Have
as
we
silent as
arrived?
possible.
You've not arrived yet, Theodore.
The other thing too is if ideally, let's just say nothing goes wrong, everyone gets into positions, then the hacking team can probably get into a position where they can have full control of things like the detention level, like security, like the cameras, and perhaps maybe better manage some sort of prison breakout.
Wait,
So, what are the 2 teams exactly?
We have the
So
hacking
you're
team
talking about
and the
these 2
detention.
teams. Yes,
We'd
but
need
who
to-
is in which team is what I was saying.
Well, I think the best way to divide these teams is the detention team is going to have to be the heavy hitter fighters, people who can handle themselves when things go really poorly, while the hacking team needs to be people who rely on stealth, deception, and the ability to hack computers. Obviously, that makes the hacking team a little bit weaker in defenses, but I feel like if the detention team does their job, perhaps then whatever they encounter, they'll be able to handle.
Less I change. Well, aside from Arrakis usually being up on the operations level, that might pose a problem.
Well, it could be. I think probably the best way to go about it would be myself, Theodore, Messiah, you. That leaves Kalani, Jaraht, Shialu, and Eaton. They'll meet up with Eaton there, and Ajak on the other team. Of course, they are going to meet up. You're going. You're going to be on guard. Oh yeah, you're going to be on guard duty. That's your job. Watching the back door.
What about Messiah? Did you say Messiah?
Messiah can go with the hacking team with me. Now, the only question I do have is, and this is a question only Shialu you can answer, if you would think it would be better to come with us or with the detention team, because and I'm not as the healer of our party. Where do you think that you might be needed most if something were to go wrong?
Well, there's going to be a lot of combat guaranteed in the detention room. Whereas if everything goes well, the other team won't see combat. But if everything goes poorly and there's less fighters in the infiltration team, then we might need more support there.
I think that's a decision only you can make. You're better at calculating that. Either way, I think stacking the deck at the detention level to be the biggest ruckus with the heavy hitters there, I think will work well the best. For the infiltration team, their goal is to never be seen, no matter what.
Messiah, how tall is each floor? Like, how tall is the total tower?
The tower is. I had it somewhere. I thought I had it somewhere. Well, each floor is about, well, it varies, but like about 12 feet tall. I think it's 19, actually, including the bottom floor. Yeah, it's 19. 19 levels. So it's like 130-ish feet tall.
Okay, so there's only 9 levels between the detention level and the operation level, which means it's only 108 feet. But Jaraht can move objects 16 squares, so that's aiming at only 80 feet. So if they run into trouble, you can't just smash their opponents into a wall from 7 stories below. I was really hoping you'd be able.
18 squares.
Oh, 18
You could catch people as they jump out.
I can catch them at 90. Jaraht can catch them at 90 feet. He has a 90-foot range with it, which is disgusting.
Yeah, you could get someone about 2/3 up the way of the
If
tower.
the stories were only 10 feet tall, you'd be able to reach. But they
It's not.
diabolically are
It's
12
taller
feet
than that.
tall.
12 feet tall. You can't reach.
Yeah,
But you could make it.
if they're all.
Messiah,
if
can
it's
you?
a- Go ahead.
Are the stairs single access? Is there only one set of stairs on one level in one area, or are there, like you said, it's hexagon, right? Are there multiple staircases?
Yes. There's, depending on the level, well, the different staircases are on different sides. So there's 4 staircases on the levels where you can transition between the stair levels. You can transition between there's 4, so there's 2. So each set of staircases is 2 stairs. And then
Right,
there's
but it's only
on the
in
transition levels, there's 4 staircases. So there's 2 locations. So one on either end, and then one on either end. So
Okay,
the
so if
ones
you
that
get cut
access
off-
the same levels are across from each other.
So if you get a cut off from one staircase, there's another one to go to.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, on the atrium level, they actually are sort of in the middle of the place. They're spiral staircases, and then they branch off as you go up. Then on the next, they sort of spread. They open up in the top, but the stairs start in the center of the room.
Which one's the atrium level?
The bottom level.
The bottom level.
So, yeah. The stairs start in the center there.
Alright. We'll wait for the
I
others to
think we
return.
need a better escape plan than blowing a hole in the detention level and jumping up. Guide stories on it.
I was more thinking that was, everything goes horribly wrong. That's the fact.
We don't. That's the coolest escape
So
plan.
what's the actual escape plan?
The actual explain, if everything goes well, we should just be able to do our jobs and go right back down the stairs.
Isn't
Go back.
every single person in the entire building going to attack us once Eton breaks out of his cell and we are fighting everyone on the detention level?
Not well. Talking everything goes perfectly well. Guards won't even know he's broken out. We could take him out quickly enough, and whoever's up on the ops level could take out the cameras, so no one would know. There would be no security alerts. So it would be very easy to just come back down before anyone knew that he was moving. But if something does go wrong, the hope is that we will have people in the operations room before we have to escape. I think the only way then to ensure escape route would be to see what that person hacking in is able to manipulate and control in order to keep us on a city road down. But
Also, don't we need to confront Darth Caracas and find out whether he learned the ability to transport things through the Force from the cause?
well,
If we find the cause, we won't need to do that. Unless if we find the cause, it tells us that.
Did Kalani tell me if Eton said anything about Picard?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna try to reach out to Eton in the Force and ask him if Picard.
I did ask her if that's why y'all were here.
Yeah. I feel like in the
The
relay.
question is whether she said anything.
I thought
I'm feeling like that.
Alright.
All the things that she
Feeling like a what?
Yeah, I feel like that's not a thing that Ego like Kalani would. Like, oh, and by the way, he asked us if we were here to rescue because. I feel like
that's not what I asked. Again, that's not what I asked.
But I don't see how that would prevent him from asking about because we know that because it's supposed to be in the detention hall. He knows the Eton's there. So
Yeah. Shiloh, you can reach out to Eton and try and find him and tell him, ask him the things. Totally do that.
Okay. Well, do I need to make a roll, or are we just gonna say that it happened?
Do you have Serenity?
No. I'm not a Jedi Master.
No, if you don't have Serenity, then you have to make a roll.
Okay, fine. As long as I don't get in that one. Okay.
Yeah,
You got like one nat one.
you have your bonus. Your bonus is ridiculous. You're fine. Just go. Just do it.
Is because in the prison with you?
I'm not certain. I haven't seen him in a couple weeks. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
You broke his brain.
Well, I was just trying to think of, well, we should just try to sense him in the Force, and then I was like, wait a second, then if he knew we were coming and he's evil, that would be bad. I was deciding that I should tell Kalani to use Serenity and then try to detect him in the Force with a nat 20 success, so he can't counter-detect her. But she's not here yet, so I'm going to wait till she gets here and then tell her.
On the other hand, if he's dead and you spend all the effort to try and find him, that's going to be enough.
Oh, that's an excellent point. I use Farsi on Picard.
And now comes the nat one.
That'd be hilarious.
Why is that funny? That's a good plan, isn't it?
Oh yay!
Yeah, that's a good plan.
You roll like a
18 plus 28 is
A billion.
46.
Yeah, that's a lot. You roll like 14 or 18 all the time. What is up?
I want his dice. I roll 6.
You sense nothing.
I sense nothing.
Jaraht is there in the room with you.
Wait, that means he's alive. Because if he was dead, I would sense that he was dead. Because the DC is only 20 for death, so
Or
that
is it
means
30?
actively preventing me from detecting him.
Or something is.
I see.
I think you're drawing the wrong conclusions from the result of that check.
What conclusions would those? Are
He doesn't like it, and don't go down this road anymore. Leave it alone.
Okay, I wait 3 minutes and then I try to Farsi Eton to see if everyone in the prison is being suppressed from Farsi.
Okie dokie.
44.
You were rolling really well. And yeah, so you get a pick. How well can you see with farseeing? Do you have the better farseeing, or is it just that you see the person and don't really see
Just the
anything
regular
else?
Farsi. The person.
Okay, so you
surrounding.
So what do you do? Are you meditating, or are you sitting? What are you doing, E10?
Yeah, nothing. I'm just sitting in my prison cell.
All right, you see him sitting in a cell that has a bed, it has a laser front. He's just sitting there.
I can see Eton in the cell through the force, but when I try to see Pakaz, I don't sense anything, which means either he or something is actively preventing me from sensing it.
Are you sure that's the case?
Yes. Also, Eton said he hadn't seen Pakaz in several weeks, so he doesn't know if he's a new person.
Well, it's a good thing we're going at the detention level anyway.
We could just take the information and rescue Eton and then blow up the tower.
Jaraht
What are we
knows.
blowing it up with?
Why?
We have ships nearby. And if we gain control of the operations, we can shut down all of their defenses. And just have the Takaya and Ramai come and scarf the place.
The Sith probably have eyes on it from
Sith would
space.
just probably destroy us.
It's not. That is not a good plan.
Well, didn't Ajax said he could break doors? How many explosives do you have? Oh wait, Ajax not here.
New
Yeah,
plan.
you turn and
I
you're
asked
like, wait, never
Olivia
mind,
where
you said
Pakaz
that.
is.
Wait,
Say
what
again?
did you say?
Wow,
Sarah?
somebody remembered that Olivia exists and has been following you around for a long time.
Oh, that's right.
Who's Olivia?
Wait, didn't the spirit? Oh,
That's Pakaz's
Pakaz's
You have the
spirit
magical
friend.
force spirit.
Pakaz's spirit friend has been following
totally forgot
Scarlet
about
for a while.
Olivia. She follows you now, doesn't she?
Yeah, what? Yeah, I'm trying to remember. What did she say about this whole situation with the
I don't know. Nobody's talked to her in like 10 sessions. So how do you know?
This is curious.
Hey Olivia, how's it going?
Do you want to go out for brunch?
Yeah,
with
you're
me
not getting a
tonight,
response.
tomorrow?
You're realizing like she probably doesn't like it on Korra Man, and so she's not really next to you. She was kind of following you.
I
but then, like,
used
she's kinda not
telepathy
following you.
to talk to Olivia. I just asked her, "Where are you?"
That's
I haven't
nice.
talked to you in like, months, but how you doing? Where are you?
So you cannot locate
I
Picard.
thought she had to be tied to someone.
GM, can Jaraht spend a few minutes in Serenity, figure out where Pakaz is?
Who's talking to her now? What's happening? No one can. What is happening?
Jaraht wants to figure out where Pakaz is. Shiloh wants to talk with Olivia.
So what are you doing to try and sense Pakaz?
Serenity, and then I'm going to reach out and try to find him. Net 20 out of 46 total.
You don't find him.
At all? I'm reaching out, just trying to figure out where he is, so he's not in the system.
Sense force?
Yeah, it would be sense force. Interesting.
Wait,
Okay.
far seeing isn't a mind affecting power.
Well, just curious.
Because he's immune to mind affecting effects, but that's not a mind affecting effect. Is there a secret talent that makes you completely invisible in the force? Wait, we haven't really leveled up though. Maybe he already had that. This is a mysterious mystery. Okay, so what happens when I try to...
When you try to...
What? What
When I try to ask Olivia where she is.
She said.
Yeah, what about those? What were they called? The force blocking.
Oh, Liaxalim.
Yeah, the force.
What? I don't know. I don't think I can read that.
Yeah, it's the Liaxalim.
I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Those things would nullify my entire race, so Kyler might not be that mean. But he might be that mean.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna ask
Say that.
Olivia where Pakaz is.
I don't know.
Okay, fine. I'll just
Be like, oh, thanks anyways. How's it going? Are you doing okay?
She is not answering you. She is not answering you. My NPC is getting upset.
Something grabbed my hand. What is it? That's just me. You're conscious. We haven't spoken in a while.
Okay, and now the rest of the people.
They only
have
come
gotten
to me when they want something.
back. Everybody is back.
Okay, can I make a roll to see if I know any reason, like the Salamiri, that the force would not be working to locate Pakaz?
I'm trying to remember. Didn't we research them or something like that?
Yeah, but that was when Shiloh wasn't there, so he doesn't know.
All right.
Well, I mentioned out loud that I couldn't sense him or far see him, so other people heard this problem.
Yes, other
And
people did
Jaraht
hear it.
tried to sense him and couldn't sense him either, so...
Yes, that's true. Alright, both give me a knowledge galactic lore checks to see if either of you know, because neither of you were
What
there.
about life science? Since
Who?
the Salamiri are alive.
Yes, you can do life sciences or galactic lore. Jaraht, since you thought it was weird that you couldn't sense him at all either, you
What?
can make rolls to see if you could think of things that could be causing that.
Okay, what
Like,
roll?
27.
Any knowledge? Okay.
Knowledge galactic lore or knowledge life sciences.
Same bonus for me. Jaraht's kind of not meant for smartsy stuff.
Oh, but you're rolling that 20. So you're vaguely aware, and you're like, wait, I think I remember something about like this little creature thing that lives on logs that has a nullifying force field that lives on some planet that you don't remember the name of, and you don't remember the name of the creature, but you know it exists. And you don't know if there's anything else that exists that does that, but you know there's at least one thing that exists that does that.
There is a possibility that they are guarding him with a creature that blocks the force. It's been a while since I took that class. I'm sorry, It wasn't one of my practical classes, and therefore I barely passed. That was more of Ariel's thing, not mine.
Alright, so now Theodore and Kalani
Well,
and
it
Ejak
makes
have
sense that
returned.
if he's being guarded, he would be under guard of such a creature, because otherwise it would be extremely difficult to contain him.
Well, something of that nature would also nullify any ability he has. So, if I remember correctly, this creature was... I'm getting vague hints of it, or vague memories of it, but... it is quite potent.
We have returned.
Ah, goodness. The
So
squirrel.
what have you all found out? What?
No,
Why'd you call me a squirrel? What is that?
ONS has completed his track of the tunnel. I was waiting for you guys to return to tell you, but I think I think he has found an entrance to the bottom of the tower.
That makes things 1,000 times easier. Be much more difficult to steal a truck and sneak in that. So,
Sure.
consensus. We tried the lower door first.
So, I think what our current plan is to divide ourselves into two teams. A third, which would be RONS and the Whisperer, can stay downstairs in the tunnel area to make sure that it doesn't, that no one finds us from the back, from behind. But then the rest of us will split off into our different levels and different teams. My current thinking, so I talked to Shiloh about this. You'll see, you guys can tell me if you think this is a good idea. But I think we should put strength in the detention area, and we should put stealth and deception towards, and hacking ability obviously is up towards the operations center. So the two teams I'm thinking to divide us in would be Messiah, myself, and Theodore of the operations. That would leave Jaraht, Ejak, and Kalani to infiltrate, to go to the detention level, who would then meet up with Ethan. The only question I would have is where Shiloh would be placed in that, but I feel like he would have the best idea of where he would be most useful.
None of this sounds objectionable to me.
So,
Can I meditate on this to see where I feel like the Force is guiding me to go, which group I should be in? Also, while you think of an answer to that question.
Hey, Jaraht, can you try to use your force sensitivity on the tower and see whether there's any invisible areas you can't see that would suggest those creatures are in the Obsidian Tower? Because if there are, that would be really dangerous for us, maybe help elsewhere.
The invisible force creatures,
I could try.
What?
Sure.
to see
What
if there's
are you
any of
talking about?
to see if there's any of those creatures that can hide in the force.
And Annie was not there when they were talking about that.
Kalani, there are
he is very confused.
a few creatures that can hide themselves from the Force. They nullify it pretty much. I cannot recall what they were or what their names were.
Oh,
I spent a little bit of time sleeping
yes,
in that class, so
I think we research that. Didn't
We did, but
Yes.
we research that during the shadow incident? What? But okay, but you think they have some of those there? Why do you? What's going?
because I just tried to
seem to-
sense if Bokaz was there, and I do believe Shiloh tried to sense Bokaz as well, and we cannot find him. I cannot find him in the system. I cannot find him anywhere. I'm not sure what ability, what powers Shiloh has. Almost registered as possible prophecy, but I'm not sure. I tend to focus more in on combat capabilities and physical alteration and application.
Okay. That would definitely complicate things if they have them there at all. Well, though that would make sense for them if they had access to those. They would probably need them to contain Vikas. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, it does. All right, give me a moment, and Jaraht is gonna take a moment, center himself, activate Serenity, and try to get a picture of the whole tower. And at the same time, try to stay hidden, because why not?
So there are creatures that nullify your powers.
Yes.
You kind of feel like this. You kind of, on the detention level, you do feel like a little area that feels odd, like kind of feels empty to you.
Okay.
You can't see inside.
Okay.
What are you laughing at there?
John's
John's background collapsed.
I missed something. What?
His background fell down.
Oh, I did
his
not have
bookshelf.
his camera because my
Okay.
I looked right when it was
Never
happening. I just
shows.
watched it go.
my tablet never shows all the cameras when we've got all of it here. I've currently got two of your cameras working. Zuri and Beta.
Yeah. Do I also sense anything in like operations or any other Force users?
You're feeling some Force users up in the operations level, but not really anywhere else.
Okay. Just double checking my bases, because I know I was also concealing, so that just in case they couldn't find me, so the sensitivity wasn't very high on that. Okay. It appears there is a hole in the tower, which would indicate that there are these creatures here. At least, probably, I feel like it is about right where the detention center is. There's a spot where I cannot sense, which, yes, that means that those creatures are most likely there. Something is nullifying the force in that area.
That's gonna
Well, that could
be
be problematic for us.
Oh, quite
These
so.
creatures would be really useful.
Only for some of us. If we split our group
I
enough
cannot
that
hear
Force users
or
are not
understand
the
the
only
squeaky.
tools we have, then we'll be alright.
So wait, can you recap the groups?
So hacking group is myself, Theodore, and Messiah. And you if you want to join. The other group, the detention group, will be Ethan when they meet him, Jaraht, Ajax, and Kalani. So we have 4, 3. And then wherever you fit. The other thing is we also don't. It seems that radio communication may not be the most secure, and from what I can tell you, Force users are able to communicate with each other pretty quickly and efficiently. Having enough Force users to act as comlinks in between groups would be more efficient and probably safer communication.
I will also say and warn you, for those who are going to the operations area, I did sense a number of Force users there. I don't know the strength. I wasn't focusing on that much, but I do know that they are there.
Yeah, one of them is probably Darth Caracas, and usually there's a couple others up there as well. The strike team leaders that aren't on mission.
And perhaps it might be best if the detention, before we get into the operations room, the detention level creates a distraction. Maybe most of those Force users will go away.
Ajax, okay, I'm not sure if you ever busted into a building before, but the most valuable place that they have in the entire facility is up there. There's no way they're going to take their most powerful people and remove them from that facility. They're up there for a reason.
Right.
And they might be worried about a prison break, but they can't really... Guarding the information in an information center is going to be their top priority.
Yes, but also, we're talking about breaking out a Jedi Master. Would they not peel off some of those people to stop a Jedi Master from escaping?
Well, it depends on how much they
Considering
want
the
it.
sensitivity of the information in this area, I think that their data is probably going to take priority.
Well, we're not going to be able to predict or know what to do when we get up there until we actually see the place. So, like I said, I still think that this is the best option. The hacking team has to be able to rely on deception mostly. I am very good at deception. Charlo, I don't think, is based on his attempt to bluff during the arena. It was not the best, but it can still be useful. Messiah, you seem
As
like
long as we can stay in small confined corridors,
so I
should
think
be able to
perhaps
destroy anyone.
right, but I think as far as deception and manipulability, Messiah and I should take the lead on that. Where Theodore and Jaraht try to remain silent and follow our lead. If
The Whisperer just
we
gives a
have
little cough.
You're not coming.
Bit of
You're gonna.
deception. Yeah.
You're not coming. You're gonna stay behind and watch the door because we need someone to watch the door, and I don't trust you, so that's you. Aside from her, has anyone else got any other suggestions?
If you don't trust her, is it really a good idea to put her watching the
She
door?
won't be alone. She won't be alone. The moment she decides to run away, I'll have things in place to make sure that doesn't bother us.
So why exactly is she here?
I don't know.
Okay.
She had insisted that people come.
Oh, because
she
Mr.
can't
R
find her.
made her come or something?
It's the one thing he and I disagree on.
Okay, well, if I meditate
We should
on
probably-
joining a group, what do I sense in the TIA would be a good idea.
They're using a really long form of. Do you have a good version? Do you have the better version of that?
I'm just going with the flow of the TIA.
So you don't have the better version of it, so you can only see 10 minutes into the future, is what I'm getting from this.
I'm not searching my feelings, I'm search TIA. This is not search your feelings.
This is. No, you're using
To
search.
align
Technically-
myself with the flow of
And you
life.
don't have the
energy.
better version. You do not have Dell's level of search your feelings, and therefore you won't even split up within 10 minutes. So you got nothing. You look into the TIA, and you're like, please help me figure out what to do. Oh my goodness.
Okay, fine. Well, we're all
It's
gonna
like
go
a
in
shrug
one until we
force.
split
you feel
up.
a shrug
right?
in the force,
So-
like you have no idea.
Okay. Well, I'll just partition into the detention level group, but then we're going to be going up the same stairs anyway. So right before we split off, I'll just look to see in the next 10 minutes what would be better.
So you're gonna.
Totally do that. You just can't do that right
You're
now.
gonna ditch us?
Okay, fine. If I sense a catastrophe in the other group, I'll switch groups. But for now, I'm going with the detention cell group.
Okay, so we're going to take a break now, and then I'm going to suggest that you communicate plans with E10 when we get back. So we're going to finalize the plan, communicate with E10, and then move forward. We may or may not get to the actual infiltration. We might just get into the lower level. Then we might stop before all the nonsense happens. But that is the plan. So we're going to have stop now, finalize plan after, or talk to E10 and figure out the plan more, because he's an important part of the plan. So you should do that. And yes, so that's what we're gonna do. So have a good break, everybody.
All right, stream. Give us like 10 minutes or so. We'll be right back. We're gonna figure this out one way or another, sometime this century. I swear. All right, we'll be right back.